Stanford wants ambitious entrepreneurs. Georgetown wants future diplomats. But Brown? Brown seems to want a little bit of everything. In the next 10 minutes or so, I'll be offering an in-depth guide detailing exactly how to get into Brown, also known as the Happy Ivy. Be sure to stick around to the end too, where I'll explain how to use the video portfolio to skyrocket your chances of admission. Now, the most unique aspect of Brown is undoubtedly the open curriculum. But so many Brown applicants commit several mistakes when talking about it. Before we get into that though, let's talk about what the OC even is. According to Brown's admissions website, the open curriculum is a flexible yet rigorous approach to education that pushes undergraduates to be deeply creative thinkers, intellectual risk takers, and entrepreneurial problem solvers. In other words, the open curriculum is meant to encourage students to study pretty much whatever they're interested in. But how is this different from a normal liberal arts education, you may be wondering? Well, some Brown students take advantage of this by combining their interests to create their own major or concentration. But then again, there are plenty of established majors / concentrations, which you can check out here. What I like about this site in particular is that you can filter by your interests, like evaluating human behavior, studying the past, and international perspectives. The biggest mistake that I see students make when applying to Brown is that they smash together 5 or 6 of these different interests to invent a totally new field of study. But my dear virtual little siblings, there is no need to reinvent the wheel. The fact of the matter is that there are tons of really established and legit concentrations. So my professional recommendation is to do your homework and explain how you'll take full advantage of 1 or 2 pre-existing concentrations as opposed to inventing your own. Something else that's dope about Brown is that they have a bunch of fascinating concentrations, which other top 20 colleges just don't have, ranging from business, entrepreneurship and organizations, to design engineering, to earth and planetary science, and even Egyptology and Assyriology. If I were you, I'd pick one of the more unique majors as opposed to economics or computer science, which, let's face it, every single school in the US offers. Just saying. To properly explain how you can best take advantage of Brown's open curriculum, let's use this example student, Christina. Christina is a senior from New England who enjoys film, YouTube videos, but also has a deep passion for orthodontics. On top of that, she's an absolute nerd when it comes to geospatial data analysis. She's shadowed her local orthodontist, produced 3 award-winning short films, and has even done some summer geospatial research at a local university. When it comes to the open curriculum, the goal is to draw a triple Venn diagram, then identify, pinpoint what's in the middle. For Christina, her theme or core message could be about public health. The reason that she cares so deeply about climate change is because she's concerned about the public health hazards that air pollution poses. Similarly, her interest in dentistry stems from a medical perspective. After all, oral health is a leading health indicator. So, in this required essay question about the open curriculum, Christina would do well to mention how she wants to double major in Earth, Climate and Biology and Health and Biology. Additionally, she could bring in her film angle by discussing how she aspires to produce documentaries about the opioid epidemic or about how climate change is exacerbating asthma in her local community. And just as an extra piece of advice, mentioning professors and courses here in this question never hurts. Feel free to check out this course catalog for some more inspiration. If I were Christina's counselor, I'd recommend that she focus on emphasizing how open-mindedness and curiosity are the most important traits to her. Talk about new and exciting fields you want to study, which you just haven't had the chance to. Again, this is where the course catalog and studying the Brown admission sites about the open curriculum come in particularly handy. Moving on to part 2. What do Brown students, aka Bears, have to say? We all know that Brown is one of the funkier Ivies. I'll just leave it at that. But what about its traditions? Are they equally as weird? Well, besides the naked donut run, not really. Okay, maybe that one is a little strange, but we'll get to that later. For now, let's talk about some of the more normal traditions, such as Spring Weekend. This is one of the biggest campus events and happens every April. Sure, lots of colleges have something like this, But what's so special about Brown's event is that they offer tons of concerts, games, and food for both Brown students and Providence residents alike to enjoy. This is actually a really important point. Brown is incredibly integrated and involved with the city of Providence. The two have a very win-win relationship. Brown lets Providence residents treat campus as their own, and Brown students get tons of opportunities in the city, whether that's for work, volunteering, or even just a student discount. Because of this, it's crucial that you mention in your application how you would not only fit in and contribute to Brown, but also Providence. For instance, let's use this example student from earlier, Christina. In her case, she could explain how she plans to contribute to the Brown community by hosting a film screening on spring weekend. One part of the session could feature Brown films, while another could highlight films made by high schoolers from Providence. Or if she wanted to do something more dental related, she could talk about how she plans to host an orthodontic health fair in downtown Providence to raise awareness about oral care. If you want to learn more about traditions at Brown, check out this website here. And if you want to learn more about Providence events, check out this website. A great place to talk about combining the two would be in this Brown supplemental essay. Make sure you spend the first half of this response intelligently reflecting about your unique background and upbringing. But the second half should center on how you'll take the life lessons and experiences you've gained to ultimately make Brown and Providence a better place. And now, for the moment you've all been waiting for, one of Brown's stranger traditions, the Naked Donut Run. This may or may not be what you imagined, but pretty much during finals week, students will spray paint their entire body, eat some donuts, then go for a run across campus. Yeah, this might sound a little weird, but what can we take away from all this? One word: funk. But Kev, what does it mean to be funky? It means to be unabashedly yourself, even in the face of criticism or potential ostracism. You see, my friends, Brown loves kids who express themselves and prioritize authenticity over conformity. So, in your essays, it's especially important to highlight any strange quirks, talents, or interests you might have. Have you memorized the birthday and hometown of every president? Are you an avid water bottle collector or really into throwing cards? Mention this in this supplemental essay question. Alright friends, I hope you enjoyed that quick little break. Speaking of which, Brown has a pretty legit breakdance club. But anyways, let's move on to part number 3, the video portfolio. Brown is one of the only universities in America that accepts video portfolios. And honestly, it's part of what makes their application so fun. I'd advise searching up a few on YouTube and just taking an hour or so to watch some. Write down key takeaways as you watch and keep those in mind as you brainstorm for your own video. This exercise will also give you a better sense as to the kinds of students that Brown likes to accept. The main thing that you'll likely notice in these video portfolios is that all of these applicants make a special effort to showcase their quirks. Collect ancient coins, doodle every day, have a talent for baking decadent cakes. Those are the kinds of things that we want to emphasize. The goal is simple. Be genuine, but also be interesting. Another important tip, and yes, it needs to be said. Please, 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 please take this video portfolio seriously. Yes, it's only 2 minutes. And yes, you've probably seen lots of examples that weren't exactly cinematic masterpieces. But imagine if yours was. Why not go above and beyond? If you're not so great at written communication, but you excel at verbal and visual communication, this is your chance to shine. Leverage animations, transition, humor, highlight your creativity. Start thinking about this now, as opposed to 1 week before the deadline, which is sadly when most applicants start seriously thinking about it. And before you ask, no, this is not optional. Whenever possible, guys, try to submit as much material as you can. If a school lets you submit extra recs or write another essay, do it. Trust me when I say that that could be the thing that gets you in.